Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Death Valley. It's a celebrated college football stadium, and today it's a matchup of old foes, Alabama and LSU. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Frank Broyles, our analyst for the ball game. Frank, let's start with the one obvious thing about this game. Alabama has a huge edge in the kicking game because of their punter Chris Moore and place kicker Van Tiffin, both highly ranked nationally, whereas LSU goes with a true freshman punter in Keith Murray, and their place kicker Lewis is only, what, 3 out of 9. So there is one edge you can give to Alabama before the kickoff.
Keith, in an even game like this, the kicking game can be the winning edge. And, of course, Alabama may turn this into a battle of field position. If they do, the kicking game gets field position for a team, and that converts into scoring opportunities. And certainly, if you go into the fourth quarter, Van Tiffin is 12 out of 17, one of the best in the country, and Lewis is only 3 out of 9. So all the edges in this area go to Alabama.
Let's talk about the LSU defense now under head coach Bill Arnsparger in his second season. The Tigers play it a little differently than you normally see in college football today.
Well, LSU has a great defensive football team. It's so different than what we see in football today because they play the same defense virtually on every down. And what they in effect are saying to Alabama, here we are, come get us and see what you can do. And Florida is the only team that has been able to move the ball against Alabama, against LSU.
Now, Alabama lost 2 ball games, each by 2 points, to Penn State and Tennessee. They could have won both those games. They certainly had their opportunities. They, in effect, beat themselves.
Keith, over the course of the season, we've said that if you don't beat yourself, your opponents can't. And talking to the Alabama coaches, they are convinced that they've got to have patience and persistence against this great LSU defense. And I think the edge goes with Mike Shula, the Alabama quarterback, who's the son of the great Don Shula, the coach of the Miami Dolphins. He has proven himself to be outstanding. He leads the nation in passing efficiency. And if Alabama should win today, I think he'll be the key factor with his short passing game.
He's never taken a snap, though, as a starting quarterback in what I call one of the great snake pits in college football, Tiger Stadium.
Well, Alabama has worked with this, you know, and with crowd noise at home, trying to get acclimated to this crowd noise. The thing that will affect Alabama, I think, Keith, is their audibles. If they can get their audibles going against LSU with this crowd noise, they'll have a chance to win.
All right, here come the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The Red Elephants with a record of 6-2, ranked 20th by the coaches poll, UPI. Those 2 losses, as we told you, by just 2 points. Coach Ray Perkins in his 3rd year, his record is 19-12, and he is 1-1 against LSU. He beat them here, but lost at Birmingham last year by 16-14. And Alabama comes out wearing the road white uniform. Now the roar builds for the Bayou Bengals of LSU. The Tigers with a record of 5-1, losing only to Florida, ranked 13th in the coaches poll. Coach Bill Arnsparger's second season, 13-3-1. He won the SEC ticket to the Sugar Bowl last year and was named the Conference Coach of the Year. Not a bad start for the veteran who came back from pro football to college football. So we're ready for the 49th meeting between the Crimson Tide and the Fighting Tigers. LSU had won the toss, but here comes the element of believing your defense can do the job for you early. They'll take the ball to start the second half. Bobby Humphrey with a sore leg is back there as the principal kick returner for Alabama. And Ron Lewis, sophomore out of New Orleans, will kick it off for LSU. He hooks the ball deep into the end zone, off the hands of Humphrey and off the field of play. And Mike Shula now comes out with the offense. 6'2", 200-pound junior. Gene Jelks, another freshman, opens. That half had a big ball game last week. Craig Turner is the tough fullback for them at 205 pounds. Albert Bell came in from junior college and has been a sensation this year. And Greg Richardson has been dependable from his freshman year as one of the solid receivers in the Alabama scheme of things. So here's the first half of the game. As the Crimson Tide opens, first down at the 20, and Shula gives the ball off to the quick running back Jelks, who is a freshman from Gadsden at 170 pounds, brought down by Chris Carrier. Thornton Chandler is the tight end for Alabama, 6'6" and 240. David Johnson at tackle weighs 270 pounds. Dave Gilmer at guard, 250. Wes Neighbors, the center, weighs in at 250. Bill Condon at 240 pounds, the other guard, and a freshman, a true freshman, Larry Rose at 275, the other tackle. For Alabama, it's 2nd down and 5 as Jelks popped the ball out to the 25-yard line. Jelks goes in motion this time, and the ball is given away to Turner. And Turner gets out to about the 27, and down he goes. Sean Burks, the inside backer, hit him head on. Here's the defensive alignment for LSU. With Barbay, Thomas, and Clapp, the big men down. The linebacking core at LSU, very good. Sancho, Burks, Caston, Brooks. The defensive secondary of Guidry and Jefferson at the corners, REHAGE and Carrier at the safeties. It's a very grudging defense that Bill Arnsparger and his staff put on the field. 3rd down and a long 3 for Alabama. Shula's first pass of the day. Has time to the sidelines. Lucky to get it back. Number 27, Kevin Guidry, zeroed in on Al Bell. Shula called a pattern that required a very long throw, and Guidry almost picked it off.
He called it perfectly. Guidry lays back to see if Bell is going deep, and once the ball is thrown, and the ball did not have quite the velocity that Shula wanted because Guidry moves at least 5 yards in front to knock it down.
Chris Moore's first punt is a low line drive, long, but Norman Jefferson has some room. Starting at the 21, comes back to about the 34, 33 maybe. It was a 52-yarder, but it was a low one. Jeff Wickersham is the quarterback at 6'2", 195. Dalton Hilliard, the record breaker at 195 pounds. Exciting player. Gary James, 205-pounder, does a lot of receiving. ROGIE MAGEE, 6'2", 200, big for a flanker back, and Wendell Davis, the split end, 185-pound sophomore. And here's the Tigers now. They go double wide to the top of the pictures. They got 3 people set out in a wide spot, and Craig Rathjen opens up as the blocking back. They give it to Hilliard, and Hilliard moves from near the 33 to about the 35. Mitch Andrews is the tight end, 6'3", 230. Kurt Gore at tackle, 245. Keith Melanson at guard is 240. Nacho Albagamo at center, 250 pounds. Eric Andolsek, 250 at guard. And John Hazard, 255 at the other tackle. And Wickersham on 2nd down and 8 wants to throw, does, high, long, and incomplete. Defensively for Alabama, this is the way the Tide lines up with John Hand, Kurt Jarvis, and Brent Sowell, the 3 big guys down front, with Rockwell, Davis, Godwin, and Bennett, the backers. The secondary, Robinson and Cooper are the corners, with Turner and Kendrick working at the safeties, and Vernon Wilkinson is expected to play some today at that right corner spot. He's been injured. Joe Hicks is our referee, as you saw. And back goes Wickersham, almost stumbled. Pressure coming from the outside. Bennett hits him as he releases the ball. It's thrown high, incomplete, and it brings up a 4th down for LSU. Cornelius Bennett, who missed 3 games because of injury, does not have a sack of a quarterback this season, but time after time after time, he has been that close.
Keith, I think the opposing quarterbacks, when they worry about Cornelius Bennett, is they throw the ball a little quicker than they have to. They've been getting the ball, hurrying it up, and that's what the Alabama defense wants. If they can't sack the quarterback, hurry him up. Now with this young kicker, let's see if they'll try to block it, Keith.
Well, they've got 10 up there. Yep. They're showing him the block effort. Keith Murray, true freshman from Theodore, Alabama. Averaged 49 in high school. In 2 games has averaged 29 at LSU. He gets a good roll on that one. He kicked it so short that Al Bell had no opportunity to come up and field the ball. And lo and behold, the ball takes that funny bounce and turns into a 53-yard punt. Mike Shula is the highest rated in efficiency among Division I-A quarterbacks. I'm not totally sure how they figured out all that efficiency stuff.
Keith, what it means is that you grade the quarterback by percentage of yardage on attempts and interceptions and touchdowns per attempt rather than just percentages.
Turns and gives the ball to Jelks, and the young man from Gadsden, who had 228 yards running and receiving, 168 on the ground last week, pops out of there with some authority as Alabama starts back at its 13, and Gene got it almost to the 20.
The running backs for Alabama have been freshmen as we look at Ray Perkins in his 3rd year. Keith, they've alternated Hill and Humphrey and Jelks, and they've all come through for him, and all 3 of them are true freshmen.
And all 3 can fly. Second down, about 3.5. Jelks again, finds daylight, first down Alabama, out at the 28-yard line. Well, that Crimson Tide offensive front has opened 2 big holes for him.
Here's what Gene Jelks did last week. He's the only Alabama player ever to gain over plus 100 yards in rushing and pass receiving. 2 of those passes were for touchdowns.
He's carried 3 times for 5, 7, and 5 yards, and it's first down for the Tide. Ball up around the 28-yard line. They play on grass here at Tiger Stadium, and Shula straight back. Whips it out here, trying to set up the screen for Jelks, and he gets just enough of a block to pop it on up near the 39-yard line where he is brought down.
Most teams will treat this type of play as running play. All it means is you're going to get the ball out to your best runner outside of the defense and let him make some yards. And Alabama used the screen to get a blocker in front of him, Keith, and I thought Jelks just had a great surge in making the first down. Here's the strength of the Alabama defense, of the LSU defense. Been outstanding all year.
Good linebacking core.
And good defensive linemen, Keith. That's one of the strong points.
Inside they go with it. Alabama finding a little bit of room inside up to about the 43. Out just beyond the 42. Shula again swings it out here. The ball is dropped by the freshman. That was a forward pass. The ball was moving forward, and for the first time, LSU was able to get some pressure on Mike Shula.
Passing down, LSU defensive lineman, Keith, just teed off, and they got a little bit of jump on the offensive lineman, and we're putting pressure on Shula. As we look at the Crimson Tide rushing, you can see how balanced they are. The key to their offense, rushing and passing, virtually the same.
Third now and long, 3rd and 7 from the 42. Shula has some open field in front of him. Dives for his first down, and looks like the mark will get him there. He took a dive for that 49-yard hash mark, and looks like he's reached it.
Here's the quarterback, Shula, coming back towards the camera. Look at the hole in front of him. Rather than risk throwing the ball where his receiver's partially covered, he has enough room to barely make the first down. Good judgment on Mike Shula's part.
He's just beyond the eye of the Tiger in the center of the field. Wes Neighbors tips it up, ready to snap it on first down. And they're going to throw on first down. Shula dumps it off. Jelks makes a good catch, pops outside, and he's going to have another first down at the 39 of LSU. Toby Caston, the inside backer, brought him down, but again, the quickness of that freshman running back, Jelks, shows up, and the headiness of Shula.
The headiness of Shula is the key, Keith. As the receivers are covered, you always have a back just somewhere where you can dump the ball off and avoid the loss. And Jelks jumps up and pulls it down, and watch him go with the ball. He shows us some moves right there and makes the first down.
That's the same player that dropped the swing pass a while ago. First down from the 39 of LSU. Tide marching along here. Big fullback Turner gets inside the 35 to about the 33. When you start picking up 6, 7 yards on first down, running the ball, you're going to win the game.
Keith, the amazing thing to me is that Alabama's runs have been all right up the middle on trap plays. LSU defense charges across. As we look at the Southeastern Conference standings, this is the way they stand right now. As you can see, 3 teams tied for the lead. But, Keith, they're going right up the middle, trapping the LSU defenders to trying to slow down their pass rush.
Doug Allen comes into the backfield now for Alabama. The ball goes to Jelks, gets a block on the corner, pops it outside, great speed, he's gone. Touchdown, Alabama.
The key to that play was the block by Bell, the wide receiver, Keith. He did a magnificent job of blocking the quarterback. Here's the block we were talking about. Bell, the wide receiver, tremendous receiver, but watch what good receivers do when the running play is called. He screens right here, 2 men or 3 men right there. He blocks 2 and screens GUIDRY, allowing Jelks to go for the touchdown. Great play by Bell, the wide receiver.
And the extra point try now by Van Tiffin out of Larry Abney's hold. It is good. At 7 minutes and 57 seconds to play in the first quarter, Alabama's Gene Jelks goes 34 for the TD. Another look at the touchdown run by Gene Jelks.
We've already pointed out that Jelks is just a freshman, but here he shows us great running ability. He sets up his blocks and then is able to break to the outside. Just beautiful vision by Jelks, and lets him go into the end zone for the touchdown. Once he got in that secondary, he knew exactly what to do. Number 22.
The best way to take some of the bite out of the Tiger Stadium crowd is to get on the scoreboard first, and Alabama has done it in their second possession. Van Tiffen to kick it off now. Ball goes well back into the end zone, where Sam Martin, destined to be the successor at tailback, but Dalton Hilliard takes it, and they'll not return it. Curt Jarvis and John Hand cause him a lot of trouble in the middle, but that time LSU runs right by him and picks up. Now Dalton Hilliard comes out to the 29, give Dalton 7 yards on that carry, and they'll be looking at second down at about 13. Texas must be improving some, because they're starting to beat up some folks. Rice and SMU, with SMU losing a tough one last week to the Aggies over in Aggie land. And now Auburn has a little breathing room against East Carolina. Second down and 13. Wickersham pitches to Dalton Hilliard, gets a block on the corner, but again there is very good pursuit, and the man who did the job inside, one was Jarvis and the other was Rockwell. Randy took him down.
Well, Jarvis is the nose guard, and he moved all the way to the outside on the fastest play you can have, the quick pick sweep, and just made an outstanding effort to pull the very dangerous Dalton Hilliard down for a short gain.
2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. It is third down and 11 LSU. The ball at their own 31. They trail 7-0, and Wickersham runs away from the pursuit, pumps it as it popped up in the air, where it falls incomplete.
Once again, the height of the Alabama defense just didn't give Wickersham a chance to throw the ball. They
I think that was Wayne Davis that got in there, Frank, the inside backer, and you're right, he stands 6'4".
Well, they got John Hand over at left tackle, who's 6'7". And you put those two rushing the passer, Wickersham had little chance to get the ball through those obstructing hands.
Keith Murray, third punt, 53 and 42 on his previous pair.
Here's the block again, or at least the fake the block.
I think they're going to drop off this time. Looks like a couple of them decided to peel off. Now they go back into the up posture, so I guess they're going after him again. The snap is low, and he gets it out of there, and that's a pretty good kick. This time Al Bell goes to the bounce and takes it. He's surrounded by purple and gold at the 27-yard line. And Turner back in the backfield now for Alabama from the 27. Shula down the line, keeps it. He was looking for the option. LSU had stepped inside and spoiled it. And when he realized he had no chance to get it away to the trailing back, he just simply pulled it down and ran into Sean Burke.
The strength of the LSU defense should be stopping the wide plays, Keith, because they're playing technique football going up and down the line. Here's the offense for Alabama and LSU. You can see that Alabama's having great success. LSU none.
Second down and still 10. Shula, a little shovel pass to Turner, the fullback. He pops it up the middle and bangs all the way to the 45 for a first down for the Tide. Chris Carrier brought him down. Well, you start moving around, as you said, technique. If you can get, what was it you used the description of whoever gets the lowest?
Yeah, the low man wins in technique football. The offensive blocker is trying to get underneath the defensive man and vice versa. But I think the surprise for Alabama has been the success of Craig Turner, the fullback, Keith. That's his 20th catch of the season.
Hand the ball to Jelks, and he sticks his head in the crowd and gets out of there with about 4.5 yards. Norman Jefferson again made the tackle for LSU. You know who's on the staff?
I was going to just talk about this. This is something that many people would not ever believe could happen in this stadium. 7 straight victories for Alabama over LSU playing here in Tiger Den.
Yet they lost last year at Birmingham to LSU, 16-14 on the block punt. Ball given to Jelks, hit in the backfield, brought down by the nose guard, Henry Thomas, a big junior out of Houston, Texas. Henry just popped right out of there and made the tackle on him. It'll be second down and 6. The first quarter is over with Alabama leading 7-0. It is obviously a capacity crowd at Tiger Stadium. We don't know the exact count yet, but it's going to be 78,000 in that neighborhood. Penn State now out 17-10, adding a field goal to their halftime lead. Alabama looking at 3rd down and 6. The ball is on the LSU 37-yard line as we start the second quarter. Mike Shula hit by Brooks. Michael Brooks was left uncovered, and he came thundering in to deck Shula with authority.
Michael Brooks lines up outside of the tackle, and as Keith mentioned, he comes untouched. What LSU did is rush more people than Alabama left in the block for them, and Brooks comes right from behind and sacks Shula. First time in 4 ball games.
Kick is down to the 7, where it is dropped by Norman Jefferson, and he has to cover the ball. 40-yard punt.
Look at these stats. All Alabama in the first quarter. You can see the total yards, 138. I think it's significant that LSU's 3rd in the nation, allowing only 84 yards rushing per game. In the first quarter, Alabama exceeded that by 3 yards.
I was mentioning punt blocking a while ago, and a young fellow who's a graduate assistant over here at LSU under Bill Arnsparger is Joe Wessel, who was Bobby Bowden's designated punt blocker last year at Florida State. I saw him yesterday. Maryland's gotten out to a 7-0 lead over Miami, and Arkansas and Baylor scoreless the second quarter. It's Sam Martin now, and Garland Jean-Baptiste in the backfield. Jean-Baptiste is the fullback and Martin the deep man, and Sam's got the ball, and he can fly. Oh, I mean, you give him a crack, and it's see you later. 170-pound sophomore from New Orleans.
Keith, it's a surprise to me that they would put Martin in the ball game, because with Hilliard and James, they have one of the finest tandems in college football. But here Martin, just a sophomore, shows great awareness by starting inside, setting up his blocks, and breaking outside for the game.
He picked up about 7 yards up to the 15. It's 2nd down and a short 3. The one time James carried it, he picked up big yardage. They go back to Hilliard with it and gets no help on the corner. Flying body, wrapped in uniform number 57, Randy Rockwell makes the hit.
You can see just how outstanding Dalton Hilliard is. He's the 6th runner of all time in the Southeastern Conference, and it won't be long before he'll be number 5 ahead of James Brooks.
May not be today, though.
Well, he has had only 1 good game in 3 against Alabama. Last year he had 80 yards. The other 2 years, very ineffective.
LSU's run 10 times for 22 yards so far. Here's Wickersham rolling out. He's got protectors over there, but he doesn't have much to throw to, so he takes off the other way. And gets collision by number 15, Lydell Mitchell, who is an outside linebacker.
Once again, Wickersham is moving out of the pocket to throw the ball. Bennett, number 97, is the great pass rusher. Let's see the battles we've got going here. Gore, number 63, is the only returning starter. And now it takes another blocker to move him out of the play. Hilliard is helping on the play.
Yeah, but by now the play's gone the other way, so he did his job anyway, didn't he?
He turned the play back inside. Correct.
Sam? Throw. Ball's got some zip on it. It's caught right at the 35-yard line. Pulled in by Wendell Davis, the 185-pounder from Shreveport.
This reception will still leave LSU 1 yard short of the first down. Since it was a bootleg fake in the backfield, it left the coverage 1-on-1, and Robinson was there just a little bit too late, but still going to be 4th and 1.
You almost got that face mask, though. 26-yard field goal try by Ron Lewis. Got it up, and he missed it. He missed it from 26 yards. So the Alabama defense morale goes up now as LSU is turned away empty. You've got 1:04 to go in the first half of play. Both teams, all their timeouts, 3 each remaining. Alabama has the ball, first down at their 20. Let's see if they unroll something new. Doug Allen and Bobby Humphrey are the backs. Humphrey with the ball, pops it over the right side, gets it out to the 30. They're going to mark him just short of the 30, so it won't be a first down. And the clock will keep ticking away. Well, Humphrey does not get the first down, and that's probably going to do it for the first half of play. You've got about 24 seconds. Now 20 seconds to go in the first half. And Alabama's leading by a score of 7-0, and now seemingly content to let the clock run down.
It's been a good defensive struggle, something that we kind of anticipated, Keith. Both teams' defense overshadowing the offense. One long drive by Shula was the key.
And that'll do it. As the final seconds tick away, the two teams head for the clubhouse, and we head for Tim Brandt as he talks with Ray Perkins.
All right, Ray, defensive struggle, I guess, as we had anticipated. The offensive production out of your freshman has been spectacular.
Well, I think we've moved the ball pretty well. I'm pleased with that offensively, but we've flipped away a couple of opportunities to kick field goals. We missed a field goal and then got a sack in another place where we were in position to kick a field goal. So, you know, we just got to get more points on the board. This game is far, far from being over. They're a great football team.
Defensively, you've got to be pleased. I mean, rubber band defense has stretched a little bit, never did break. Well, still, this goose egg is there.
I'm very pleased, you know, march it down there, and I'm real happy that they didn't get the 3-point side of it. I'm happy that they missed the field goal. That's got to give a little bit of a shot to our defense also.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Ray, so Alabama lays it 7-0. It has been everything we have anticipated, a defensive battle. Back here at LSU with Bill Arnsparker, the head coach of the Tigers. And first of all, your defense played tremendously, held up in some tough situations.
You know, we've got to just play better defensively, and we've got to get something out of our drive. We had a good drive in the second quarter, but again, we came up with no points, and that's what's been our problem. And we just got to go back and get it going again and get some points, because
how much does it hurt them confidence-wise? You go for a big 4th and 1, you make it, could be the biggest play
you
to
know,
score.
it's over. We just forget about it. It's what's ahead's what's important.
Okay, thank you. All right, back up to you, Keith.
And we're ready to kick off with Van Tiffin kicking it to LSU. The Tigers have Sam Martin and Gary James both deep now to return this kickoff from Tiffin. And the sun is bright on the upper reaches of the stadium, but the entire field now is in shadow. Alabama 7-0, and here's the ball floating to Martin. A yard, maybe 2 yards deep in the end zone. Look out! The kicker, Van Tiffin, brought him down. Otherwise, it's a tie ball game probably. Tiffin got him up at the 43, a 43-yard return.
This is the perfect way to return a kickoff. You see a little bitty crack, and you put the afterburner on, and you split the defensive men. Now the great play here by Van Tiffin, the kicker. Keith, not many kickers could have gotten Martin down on that occasion. Great play.
He can run, that kid. Whew. Back goes Wickersham on first down. Shoots it to Mitch Andrews, the tight end, and he's down just over midfield. And so LSU starting out to test the Tide defense. John Hand, the big first half. Down lineman, Kurt Jarvis, nose guard for the Tide at 265. Brent Sowell, the tackle, at 255. Linebackers are Cornelius Bennett, 6'4", 215. Wayne Davis, 6'4", 210. Joe Godwin, 6'2", 215. And Randy Rockwell, the little one, 6'3", and 189. Second down and about 2 for LSU. So they start out with a bang here in the second half. Give it to Gary James, and he breaks it, and he's gone. Touchdown, Tigers. How do you do? We got a ball game. Lewis for the extra point that'll tie. Got it.
Lightning has struck. A little misdirection play. And James pops the line of scrimmage, and he is gone. He runs right between the defensive safety man and the halfback. He's the fastest player on the LSU team, and he goes in for the touchdown, and the game is tied up.
A longest play of the season for LSU. 49-yard touchdown run by Gary James, and we're tied at 7, and the Tigers came out with some grit in their gizzard, and I wonder who the orator was at halftime. He ought to go on the road.
Well, LSU, you know, they missed that scoring opportunity. They gained a little confidence by moving the length of the field against Alabama, and they came out and showed them what they could do. Big confidence build of that touchdown.
Ron Lewis kicks off. Humphrey drifting under it. There'll be no return of this one. First down, tied at 20. Open up with Jelks and Turner behind Shula, and Jelks with the ball is wackoed by Ron Sancho. Outside backer, a redshirt freshman. Roland Barbay, one of the 3 big guys down, 255. Henry Taylor, the nose guard, 255. And Tommy Clapp at 260. Ron Sancho, who just made that last tackle, 220, 6'2". Inside backer is Sean Burks at 220 pounds. Toby Keston at 220. And Michael Brooks at 230 pounds. And the crowd is back in the ball game. Shula gives on a little delay to Jelks, gets outside. And does something with it. He had to run all the way across the field, and finally, as he neared the boundary, he was able to turn it up and pick up 4. Kevin Guidry, a cornerback for LSU. Norman Jefferson is the other corner, 180-pounder. The safety, strong safety, is Steve REHAGE, 185, and Chris Carrier, the free safety, at 6'5" and 205. It is third down and about 2 for Alabama. 13:20 to go, third quarter. Shula gives it to Turner, and he will have the first down. One of the most important things in baseball, after your team has scored to take a lead or holds the lead, the most important thing is for the pitcher to shut him out. Same applies in football. The most important thing for a defensive unit is to stop the other offense from picking up very much real estate. But Alabama was able to whittle away here and get a first down, 12 yards in 3 plays after LSU had scored.
Here the drive, LSU's drive, just 2 plays for the touchdown.
49-yarder by Gary James. Here goes Jelks again, caught behind the line of scrimmage by Ron Sancho. That redshirt freshman, 6'2", 220. Jelks never had a chance. That was a mismatch. Gene weighs 170.
Jelks was trying to go outside. The play is designed to go off tackle, but now Jelks goes outside. Sancho was not blocked, number 52, and he just lassos Jelks, and with some help from a teammate, throws him to the ground for the loss.
And it's a loss of about 3 yards, so it'll be second down, 13.
LSU needed a big defensive play there, Keith, and they got it from their redshirt freshman.
Greg Richardson is wide to the bottom of the picture. Greg has not seen the ball at the end of the pass today. Shula back to throw, looks at it. Nope, gives it away to Jelks. And Jelks is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Sean Burks, number 57, the inside backer, and leading tackler for the Tigers, got there first.
Good safe play, the shovel pass, but it doesn't work. Burks, number 57, diagnosed the play beautifully. Watch him to the left of your screen. He's going to fire through there and tackle the ball carrier for the loss. Again, nice third and big yardage, and Shula had better be careful because there's been no turnovers this ball game so far, Keith.
3rd and 17 for the Tide.
Double coverage everywhere by the...
They go back to Jelks. Will not get his first down. He's belted out at just about the original line of scrimmage, up around the 33, and Chris Moore comes on to punt.
Here are the numbers. The Georgia-Florida game, upset by Georgia, number 1 Florida losing. Tim Worley, just a freshman, leading the Bulldogs. Jamie Holloway, quarterback. Quarterback's having a good day.
Moore gets his kick out of there, and it's a long, low driving kick that gives some room to Norm Jefferson. Good blocking downfield, but still Alabama with the 2 hot men taken down on the play, able to get down and drop him inside the 20 at the 18. Well, let's see what the LSU offensive front can do this time. They carved a big hole for Gary James the last time. They line him up with James and Hilliard in the backfield. Goes to Hilliard. Well, they carve another hole. Dalton Hilliard moves from the 18 to the 24 for 6 yards.
Keith, it's amazing what happens when you have a little success on offense. You fire up your defense, you fire up the fans, and you gain some confidence with yourself, and you get to play a lot better football. That's what we're seeing right now with LSU.
It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Tigers. 7-7 ball game. Hilliard, James is out rather, and Craig Rathjen comes in now as they go back to the I formation. Hilliard coming around the corner, loses his helmet, and penalty flags fly on it. That'll be a face mask call on Larry Roberts. He reached for him and he got the hat. And Hilliard looked like he had his first down anyway, but they'll tack on some here as a result of the hat flying off.
If it's incidental, the penalty will be 5 yards. If it's twisting, grabbing, or turning, it's 15-yard penalty. We'll just have to wait and see the interpretation of the officials.
That'll be the first Alabama penalty in the ball game.
Here's the penalty, number 87, Roberts. The reason we have this penalty is to protect the players. That's so dangerous because when you twist his head like that, that's not incidental. I can see why the LSU fans, good gracious, that's not incidental. Turning, twisting, and grabbing is 15 yards. By the rule book, that is.
Tigers move out to the 33 where it's a first down, and Gary James is back in, double wide top, and Wickersham sets to throw, pumps it once, goes deep with it. He's got a man wide open. Wendell Davis, touchdown. Wendell Davis, 67 yards as Wickersham rolled it out, sending the speedster deep. Alabama defensive back bit on the rollout, and Davis walked home. And it's 14-7 LSU with 10-12 to go in the 3rd quarter.
A little misdirection. Fake to Hilliard coming back the other way, and all I could see was Davis puts a great fake on Robinson, number 21. Busted coverage, a glaring mistake. One thing you don't do is bust the bust the play on a deep pass, but they did, and it's a touchdown.
Well, the Tigers got the elephant under right now. LSU in the second half, 2 big plays. A 49-yard run by Gary James to tie it at 7, and now a 6 to 7-yard pass from Wickersham to Davis. And the Bayou Bengals have the lead 14-7. Low driving kick is taken down around the 2-yard line by Sean Lee, a defensive back. And Lee comes out to about the 18. Another look now at the LSU touchdown that puts them ahead.
Misdirection in the backfield, Keith, often distorts the coverage, and that's what happened as Alabama made a glaring mistake. No one covered deep into the boundary. Robinson was up close, and so was the safety man Kendrick, and you can see how wide open. That's as far behind a defensive back as we've seen all season long.
And that is the longest play of the season for LSU. Alabama's ball, first down at their own 23. And Shula sets to throw on first down. Hit, knocked down. Inside the 15 by Karl Wilson.
Shula is dropping back, Keith, and he's going to get one look. The LSU defense is coming. Wilson, number 72, gets away from one of the Alabama blockers and grabs him and throws him to the ground.
Got away from John McIntosh, I think it was. Or David Gilmer, maybe.
I think it was Gilmer, number 63.
So the ball is all the way back at the 15, where it's second down and about 19. And this is Craig Turner. And Turner trying to slice it back inside, bumped by one of his own people and brought down by Greg Jackson. And Shula this time rolls out and finds all his receivers double downfield, pulls it down and runs it out close to the 25, and Chris Moore will come on.
LSU defense did their job, sacking Shula on first down, forcing him into some kind of a trick play or pass situation, and the LSU defense was up to the occasion, forcing the punt.
10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Let's see if they go ahead and punt or let the clock run down.
They'll let it run down, Keith, because they'll have Alabama will have the win in the fourth quarter.
So after 3 quarters of play, 14-7 LSU. We'll continue after this commercial message and the word from our local station.
Tim Brent down here behind the Alabama bench, and I want to give you an update, please, on Randy Rockwell, the weak side linebacker for Alabama. He did not get hit. He twisted his knee and his cleats got caught in the grass. They have taped the knee. He is okay. Now, Rockwell is only 189 pounds, and I know that concerns a lot of people. They say he's not big enough to play. I played that spot at 218, and I would have rather been his speed at 189, Keith.
You can understand why. He's quick. All right, we start the fourth quarter as Chris Moore punts, and still he doesn't get the kind of hang time we've been seeing him produce. And it's going to produce good field position for LSU as Jefferson took it back at the 32 and brought it back to about the 36. 43-yard punt. The top 10 today reflected there. Penn State winning. Nebraska winning. Ohio State won. Air Force has won. Ooh, 45-7 for the Falcons. Oklahoma won big. Iowa won big. Miami tied 13-13 for them. Baylor winning 14-6. Michigan won big. A lot of mismatches today. Wickersham throws in a crowd and produces a completion with his tight end Mitch Andrews. Up about the 44.
LSU have been very diversified on first down, Keith. They've been running some short passes, some misdirection, a bootleg, and they have really caught Alabama out of place.
Rockwell came in for that play and now leaves. Mitchell replaces him.
The third quarter statistics belong to LSU. 193 yards total offense in that one quarter alone, and 7 first downs to 2 for Alabama in the third quarter.
Second down and 3 for the Tigers. Here goes Gary James. Fumbles the football. Alabama's got it. If they don't call him down. And they're going to call him down.
The ground cannot cause the fumble. It appeared from here, Keith, that James, when he hit the ground, the ball, and he seems to be bunged up a little bit on the play, the ball came out when he hit the ground. Let's see if we notice carefully exactly what happened. James is an outside runner. Starts wide, now he cuts back, and then he's going to head for that boundary where he can use the great speed that he has. Nope. The ball was fumbled before he was down. In fact, his shoulders were on the back of the Alabama receiver right there.
That's Wayne Davis making the tackle.
Left knee could have been down, though, Keith. Very close call either way.
Gary's coming off now, walking off, seems to be okay. He's had 4 carries for 78 yards today. And the ball is near the Alabama 40, where it's a first down for LSU.
His most yards against Alabama in 3 previous seasons was 18 total, Keith, so he's happy today.
This is Martin. Actually caught his foot and tripped over John Hazard, his own offensive tackle.
I'm really impressed with the LSU offense using these misdirection plays. Somehow they decided that Alabama pursues so quickly to the football on the first fake that the only way to make yards, run away from the first fake.
13:20 to play in the ball game. LSU leading 14-7 and starting to threaten again as Wickersham sets to throw. Wants to go for Davis deep, does, and overthrows. Probably threw that one away, though he might have given it a little more comfort margin because there was an Alabama man reaching for it. Third down, 6. Little mix-up as Hilliard and Wickersham ran together, and by the time Dalton had control of it, John Hand and company were there. Here's the punt by Murray, trying to kill it deep, but knocks it through the end zone, and Alabama will come out to their 20 after a 40-yard punt. Time remaining, 12:24. The Alabama offense, if it does not produce something in this possession, is going to be between a rock and a hard place.
Well, Keith, Alabama had 7 first downs in the first quarter. They've had a total of 4 in the second and third quarter, so LSU is dominating the line of scrimmage right now.
Humphrey and Allen are the setbacks behind Shula. And Humphrey looking for somewhere to run. Doesn't find much. Maybe a yard. Well, if they don't produce something this time offensively, the next time they get the ball, unless LSU makes a mistake, time will be the decided ally for the Tigers. Because the way they have been able to control the ball in the second half.
LSU defense, in my impression, are getting stronger and stronger as the game goes along. They're reacting better and faster to the Alabama plays, and a good rush on Shula at quarterback.
Second down at about 9. They've controlled Al Bell today. Shula takes off and gets it up to the 25, so it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Alabama. But again, they took Bell away from him.
Michael Brooks, number 94, having another great game. One of the best linebackers, most complete linebackers in America. He can drop off, he can rush, he can play the run. He goes right by Johnson, number 60. Now he cuts back inside, flushes Shula out of the pocket, and Shula's having a hard time. The rush is not sacking him more or less, but they're making him throw early or flushing him out of the pocket.
Now they double up with Bell and Richardson on the same side at the bottom of the screen. He's got Richardson. Greg makes the catch just beyond the marker, and Alabama will have 4 more snaps.
That was one of the critical plays of the ball game as far as Alabama was concerned. We expected Shula to go underneath and try to make the first down, which he does, and it's a good catch right here by number 17, Richardson. He's been tackled immediately by GUIDRY, number 27.
Give you an idea of how the LSU defense has taken away the wide people, the primary receivers. Alabama's completed only 2 passes to a wide man or the tight end today. They just don't give you anything back there. Had Chandler, the tight end, in motion. He looks for him, throws, and it is caught by Al Bell. And having the tight end, Chandler, drag underneath, opened the zone for Al Bell to go up and get the ball. And Shula took a lick from Michael Brooks.
Brooks was right on top of him, and he actually made contact with Shula while his arm was in the movement of throwing the ball, and the ball is just wobbling in there, and Bell catches it. Brooks, number 94, again, premier rusher. Rose, the freshman, going right around freshman Rose, and he gets a little piece of Shula, and the ball was in the air just enough to make the completion.
First down at the LSU 49 for the Tide. This time Humphrey goes in motion, and Shula's throwing. It's Bell, and it's caught at the LSU 22.
Keith, that's the best throw and catch of the day. The PERT pass had to be perfectly thrown. Shula's throwing the ball over the cornerback, REHAGE, number 7, and in front of the safety. Watch this timing of this play. Shula's got to throw the ball before the receiver comes open. Now it's right over behind REHAGE, number 7, and watch the catch right there. Sensational by Al Bell, number 1.
Bell is out for a respite. Whitehurst is in replacing him. First down Alabama, LSU 22. Shula gives it to Humphrey. Humphrey finds some room and gets inside the 15 near the 14. That's an 8-yard pickup. It'll be second down and 2.
2 successive passes. What do? You run the draw play, but look at these passes. The Tigers have allowed 14 points in the last 16 quarters.
But listen to this. They have not allowed a passing touchdown in 19 quarters.
Pretty good pass defense, I'd say.
Well, they send Whitehurst and Richardson to the bottom of the screen.
LSU's going to rush a little bit this time instead of defend.
Second down at about 7. They pitch it to Humphrey. And Humphrey gets it back down to the 15, where it'll be third down and 3, roughly.
Humphrey made some yardage after he lost his blocking, Keith, on just second effort. He's not that big. As you know, he just a freshman, and he picked up 3 extra yards after he was hit by the LSU defenders.
Bell is back. He and Richardson now the wide people. Third and a good size 3 yards. And Shula, I think if Mike had just walked away from the snap, he might have gotten a little help there because the crowd was roaring, but instead he's called timeout. Well, they used to call them red elephants. They went away for a while, and then they came back. Now the elephant is the mascot. And they're up against it right here. Third down and 3, trailing 14-7, 7:57 to play in the game. The ball is on the LSU 15.
Single back offense, Keith. Must be going to throw it.
Nope. Oh, they should have.
Fumbled it. No, he called it down, Keith. The ground knocked the ball loose. Even though LSU recovered the ball.
Willie Bryant, a cornerback on the quick side, hit Doug Allen and turned him upside down.
The formation is 3 wide men outside and only a running back. And as Keith said, the cornerback is untouched. There's nobody there to block him since they didn't have a lead block.
Van Tiffin is missed today from 46 yards wide left, and now he's going to try one from 33. And the clock is running at 7:15 to play in the game.
Missed it, Keith.
So the Tiger Stadium crowd exults in the miss. The second in a row by Van Tiffin, who came in with some of the best credentials in the country in place kicking. And he's 0 for 2. He didn't get into it with authority, did he?
No, he didn't, Keith. He hit the wrong part of the ball. It didn't have near the velocity or the power that his balls usually have. Let's see if we can tell. You can see the reaction. He missed it good. It wasn't close. It was probably 10 yards to the right of the goalpost.
First down Tigers at the 30. They give it again to Hilliard, this time for 3. Now their primary interest, they just keep chewing away in small chunks. If something happens big, fine, whoopee. But the most important thing is to chew up the clock.
And hold on to the football. I don't believe we've had a fumble today. Hand number 78. Big and strong. Used to be, Keith, we didn't see any defensive linemen at 6'7". They were always susceptible to the block, but not John Hand.
Wickersham goes to the air and bounces the ball behind Mitch Andrews, the tight end.
That stops the clock, and that's in Alabama's favor. The incomplete pass throws LSU in the long yardage.
He had pretty good protection. He just threw a bad ball.
He threw a bad ball, Keith. Andrews was open, too. He split the defensive back and safety man and had a little crease in there for the reception.
It is now 3rd down and 7.
3 wide receivers for LSU.
Alabama's going to get the ball back. Here's the place. Wickersham zips it again, throws the ball in front of the intended receiver, Wendell Davis. Davis was down on his knees up at the 45 and had a chance to make the catch, but Wickersham couldn't get it to him.
Davis was wide open. Single coverage. Robinson was covering deep. Davis had already gotten in behind the secondary twice. He had a big cushion. All Wickersham had to do was throw it.
Now Greg Richardson is the key man for Alabama. Keith Murray, the key man for LSU. 5:19 play at a 14-7 ball game. Tigers have the lead. Murray, no pressure. Good kick by Keith Murray. Runs Richardson back to the 23. And he comes back to the 31. There, Alabama will start. First down. It was a 44-yard punt for Murray, and he's improving with every kick. Van Tiffin has missed 2 field goals for the Tide. Alabama, with 5:07 to play in the game, starts first down at their 32. Mike Shula breaks out. and gets a first down as he comes to the 43-yard line.
Shula's manner in the pocket is so improved over last year. Good rush by LSU. Steady pressure, receivers covered. Mike has the awareness to sidestep the nose man, turn Thomas, and go for the first down.
Sean Burks brought him down, his 12th tackle of the game. Shula's throwing. Wants to throw. Now he takes off again and gets up to the 45, just over it. A pickup of a couple of yards on that play. LSU now, just on every play, they've got somebody in his face.
Not only they got somebody putting pressure on Shula, the quarterback, Keith, but they're double covering the wide receivers. They're not gambling. They're not blitzing. All they're doing is saying, we're going to double cover your receivers and put some rush, and let's see you throw the ball at double coverage. And that's what Shula is facing on virtually every down.
Whitehurst and Bell are in, with Jelks in motion, making him another wide receiver. So they've got three speedsters. The pass is thrown to Whitehurst on the LSU side of the field and dropped just inside the 47, close to the 46.
Brooks and
that's a first down.
Yeah, Brooks and Sancho both rushed, opened up the one-on-one coverage first time, and so Whitehurst pushes deep. LSU defensive back giving him a big cushion at this part of the ball game. Whitehurst dives forward and makes the first down.
He's out there hitching up his britches saying, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball.
Yeah, he saw the one-on-one coverage and the big cushion by the defensive halfback.
3:40 to play in the game. First down, Alabama, LSU 46.
Now the double coverage.
Jelks, three blockers in front of him. Breaks it to the sidelines and goes out of bounds at the 35, killing the clock at 3:24 to play in the game.
When your receivers are covered down the field, you dump the ball off. It was double coverage. All of his receivers were covered, Keith. Shula again showing the poise and the confidence that he's had all year long. Dumps it off. Halfback makes a nice gain for the first down.
Greg Richardson replaces Whitehurst. Shula has hit 6 straight passes now. Throws it away. He looked at Turner, he looked at Bell, he looked deep. He had Richardson down deep, but Greg had
two
people with the 3 people with him. Yeah.
LSU covered the pass perfectly. Keith, the missed field goal by Van Tiffen is going to loom larger and larger should Alabama score. Alabama's lost 1 game in conference. Every team in the league has lost 1 game in conference. I don't believe he can go for the tie. I think he's got to go for 2, trying to get the Sugar Bowl bid. Tie, I don't believe would help him, although Georgia has a tie, which really leads into some strange
Well, Tennessee still has only 1 conference loss, though. They give it to Turner, and Turner trying to sneak in there into the pile and find some daylight, and he didn't find any. Got 2 yards.
Now it rests with offensive line protecting Mike Shula. It's 3rd down and long. They've got to throw the ball. LSU, now Bill Arnsberger, which this is his strength. What does he do? Defend all the receivers, double coverage, or try to put more pressure on Shula? Let's see.
Well, he's been defending, so why not keep it that way? I don't believe I'd mess with it.
He's rushing 4 and defending with 7.
Quarterback draw. First down.
What a gutty call that on 3rd and long. My hat's off to Ray Perkins. That is a sensational gutty cross-up call. And you can see the look on Arnsberger. What in the world happened? Look at the yardage right there. Evidently, they saw that LSU was giving them the middle on the play before, and Perkins called the play. Shula makes the first down on 3rd and long. Hey, Keith, that's gutty. That's gutty.
Alabama's down here knocking on the door one more time at the LSU 22. First down for the Tide. 2.5 minutes to play in the game. Alabama with 1 timeout remaining, and LSU leading 14-7. 2nd down and 20. Shula drops. His pass is away. Throws a knuckleball. Ball slid out of his hands. He did not have a good grip on it. I don't frankly know who he was throwing it to. Probably Bell. But the ball just flooded out of his hand.
Once again, LSU secondary are just doing an outstanding job of picking up the receivers, covering them both in front and in back of them. Shula has very little chance to get the ball into the receiver.
Third and 20, and the crowd is in it. Bell, too high. He had cut in front of the defender, Chris Carrier, had a shot at it, but the pass was too high, couldn't reach it.
Bell is just doing everything he can to get open. Pushing deep, now drifting across the middle. GUIDRY, number 27, was to cover him, and he is open right there. Carrier, the safety man, is coming in, but it had to have been a perfect throw for the completion. Now Shula has no choice but to go deep since this is fourth down.
4th and 20. Ball game is in the balance right here. 1:59 to play. Bell, he's got it. Penalty flag is thrown. He's inside the 5-yard line at the 2, and let's see about the flag. It was thrown well downfield in the secondary. Let's see about the flag.
There was some collisions by the other receiver for Alabama and the defensive back.
Here's the call from Joe Hicks.
It's against LSU.
Holding by the defensive team.
First and goal, Alabama at the LSU 2.
But if you've got a great receiver like Al Bell, who's already had 7 touchdown passes this year, let's see what they do. Number 7, REHAGE, he's got a hold of him. That's illegal right there.
That got the flag, too.
That got the flag, and it slowed him up just enough to catch the pass, I think, Keith. Otherwise, it would have been just a 5-yard penalty and first down. Certainly, you don't want to interfere on 4th down and 20, but look at 3 defensive men all around Bell. The concentration, the eye contact on the ball was sensational.
It's first down and goal at the 2 with Jelks and Turner in the lineup, and only a minute and a half to play in the ball game. They give it to Jelks. He wants to throw it. He throws it for Shula. Touchdown!
Can you believe that? Now they've got to decide, go for 2. I think they will.
Jelks has run off the field in his joy. They may want him back. Alabama will spend its last timeout right here to talk about the play they want to use, and it seems abundantly clear they will go for 2.
The reason, Keith, that they've already lost 1, the tie will not help them any. Throw back to the quarterback. The quarterback is just not one that you account for with your defense.
Yeah, but he
look
catches
at
in
the
the crowd.
Oh, I know it. I was going to say, watch the ability of Shula, who stands 6'2". The pass was perfect. It had to be perfect. And he goes up and pulls the ball in for the touchdown. Wow.
Well, that was a play that Jerry Faust called against Air Force, and it blew up on him. But it worked for Ray Perkins today.
LSU was over-anxious, which is what you expect from a team. They pitch the ball on 2nd down and 1. Jelks has got a great runner. Get your defense over there and make the play. But oh my goodness.
All right, now I see number 19 coming out there on the field.
Both teams have been over on the bench talking to I guess Alabama feels that.
Well, I saw Abney come out, number 19, so I figured they were going to try something.
This really surprises me.
Tiffin for the tie, and it's good. And a vote from me, and it's been my feeling for years. Let's get rid of tie games. Let's have some kind of a playoff format so we don't have tie games. 1:23 to play at Tiger Stadium. Here's Jim.
Keith, I don't believe he can afford an onside kick because it would put LSU in position for 1. They have 3 timeouts. I think he's going to have to kick the ball deep. He went for the tie. That tells what he's thinking. If he's going for the win, I don't think he would. I think he had a better chance to make 2 points than he is get the ball an onside kick. I would be shocked if he tries an onside kick.
Well, you were surprised when he went for one.
Oh, I was. I couldn't believe that.
Well, he pops it up in the air. Not a very long kick. It is fielded up around the 14-yard line by Dalton Hilliard, who picked Gary James now. And James runs the ball back up to around the 30, 31, 32-yard line. So LSU is at the 32. They've got Ron Lewis on the bench. They've got 3 timeouts to work with. There's 1:13 to play on the clock, and Lewis's long kick of his career, 54 yards.
What reasoning could Ray Perkins have? The only thing I can think of, Keith, is that Georgia has a tie. Should they beat Auburn and Alabama win their 2, and Tennessee lose 1 game, they'd be in the Sugar Bowl. That's a lot of ifs, but I'm sure that's what he was thinking, since Georgia has a tie and they're playing Auburn between the hedges in Athens.
Wickersham dumps it off to Hilliard. He's got a blocker, and he gets it up near midfield. They'll put him out at the 49-yard line. Ain't over.
No.
1:05 to play. Ain't over till it's over.
Or till she sings.
She ain't going to sing today until after the fracas is completed.
It's a good play to call in this situation. They hit their best runner with a short pass and have their flanker downfield blocking for him. Watch to the right of your screen. You can see number 80 of LSU blocking for him. 80 is MAGEE.
Wickersham hits Mitch Andrews, the tight end, and Andrews rolls down a little short of the first down. And we're at 56, 55 and counting. And the Tigers hurrying, and they've called now for measurement.
Keith, this is what I was trying to get across, that Georgia has a tie, and Georgia's got to play Auburn, so in between the hedges, they might win. So I'm sure Perkins was thinking about, he can win these ball games, and Tennessee loses, he'd be tied with Georgia, then they'd have to decide on the Sugar Bowl rule. But there's still a lot of games to be played. There's a round robin going with everybody pretty much except Tennessee. And Tennessee has got to beat Mississippi, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. Well, Tennessee still has 3 conference games to play. But this game is not over yet.
Ball is near the Alabama 42. Wickersham goes for the first down. And that amounts pretty much to a first down. I mean, to a timeout, really, because the clock now stops as they move the chains.
They go without the huddle, Keith.
And they line up to go without huddling because they probably call 2 plays at least in the huddle. And they go before the chains are really in place. And the penalty flag is in the air. And somebody may have had too many people on the field as Hilliard pulls it down and gets to the 29. So let's see about the penalty.
Alabama was trying to substitute number 94, Smith, and he didn't get off the field. So they didn't actually play 12 people, but they had 12 men on the field, so it's a 5-yard penalty.
The ball is now at the 29. This would be a 46-yard field goal try from this point with 41 seconds to play in the game. 14-14 tie.
Blitz is on.
Wickersham gets it off. The ball is batted down by John Hand. Hand was involved in a wrestling match along the line of scrimmage with Norwood, it looked like, and Hand reached up and slapped that ball down, and so now it brings up 3rd down, stopping the clock at 37 seconds.
Ray Perkins is controlling the destiny of the defense right now, I'm sure. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator, is getting the word, Coach, do I want to blitz or do we want to defend? That's the decision that they have to make right here. No in between.
They're defending. They swing it out of Hilliard. He gets loose. Dalton Hilliard is down to the 10-yard line. And LSU calls a timeout with 29 seconds to play in the ball game.
Now let's set the stage. What can LSU do? Do they want to trust their field goal kicker, who is only 3 out of 10, and try to set it up right in front of the goalpost, or do they want to score, risking an interception or a sack and moving them back? But Hilliard is the key man. The second leading receiver for the the Tigers, you can see the effort that he made to put the ball as close to the goal line as possible. Heath, I just don't believe I want to trust the field goal kicker because you have to get the snap, you have to hold it, and he's only 3 out of 10. His confidence couldn't be good. Lewis, number 8. But you certainly don't want to be sacked, and you don't want to throw for an interception. So what do you do?
I'd run that ball right out in the middle, wherever that kicker wants it. I'd find out from him what he thinks his best angle is. And I'd probably try to run a sweep in that direction, and if something came out of that, whoopee. And if not, I've got my kicker now in the position that he likes to be.
Alabama blocked the last field goal attempt. It's actually 3 out of 11. There are the timeouts. 29 seconds.
In this possession, Hilliard's been the big man. He's caught 3 balls for 49 yards.
Get your best run of the ball on short passes, Keith. That's good strategy. They're in a running formation.
Well, they've got the best blocker in there at fullback, Craig Rathjen, and Hilliard's behind him out of the eye, and Hilliard has it. And he gets to the 8.
They're going to trust the field goal kicker if they don't score on the running game.
Let the clock run a little bit, though, wouldn't it?
Evidently, that's what they're going to do. Try to set it up right in front of the goalpost.
They're down to 10 seconds.
That's their strategy.
They call time at 5 seconds. And now it's up to Ron Lewis. It is up to Ron Lewis. It is up to Doug Powell, the holder. The snapper is the strong safety, Chris Carrier. Carrier is 6'5", weighs only 205. You know Alabama is going to load the cannon and send big people. So here's you've got a guy, 205 pounds, snapping, trying to block.
Keith, you hit it right on the
big
point.
People.
Because that's where Alabama blocked the last field goal. Remember, they sent Hand on one side of the center carrier, and Roberts, the other 6'5" tackle, right through the right side. They split the shoulders of the offensive center carrier, who is the lightest man, obviously, in the offensive line at this time.
It is a 24-yard field goal try. So first Carrier's got to snap it. Powell's got to hold it. And Lewis has got to kick it. He missed from 26 earlier. He missed from 40 when it was tipped. It's up. Missed it.
It was close, Keith. He didn't miss the
missed it right.
Can you believe that?
And 1 tick remains on the clock.
Well, Keith, they're 2 fine football teams. Don, here's the reaction of Lewis, the kicker. Everybody, once they see the kicker put his head down, oh my goodness, then the coaches are likely to do the same thing. And here's the drama over here. How about that? His decision of going for 1 point is paid off.
It's like golf. Every shot makes somebody happy.
And here's Arnsparger. He thought it was good. He's happy. But wait a minute.
And Alabama takes the snap. The clock expires and the game is over. And your final score: Alabama 14 and LSU 14. And the Southeastern Conference standings now assume an even more cluttered appearance. Florida beaten today, but